This is 10 tips and tricks for us. This is 25 tips and tricks for us. This is 21. This is 35, 50, and this is 100 tips and tricks for us. This video, I'll be showing you the best 100 tips I've gathered that are actually pretty useful and you would need to know by the end of this video. You might ask yourself, why would you trust someone with 1 subscriber? Well, right here, as you can see, is actually 15,000 hours in Rust. That is right. I am a certified pro. But cheers, lads. Enjoy the video. Alright, first tip is don't trust nakeds with a sash. They can easily hide a Ioka or any sort of small little weapon on the side of their hip. You can use auto binds to your advantage, such as when you need to go AFK and hit a soft side wall. By hugging the wall, you will actually prevent yourself from taking any damage when you land from any height. In the video, you can see me doing different types of ways to get down. Alright, so you want to follow these pipes, right? Jump over here. And when you meet these pipes over here, all you want to do is crouch and hold S and D all together. This will literally prevent you from taking any damage. As you can see, I didn't take any damage, right? So right now I'm just going to jump over this ledge to show you that I can actually take damage. And yeah, there's actually another way to get up dome. When you're basically to the top, there should be a little ledge onto your left. All you have to do is just jump on it and just follow that all the way along. And you can easily flank people if they're guarding the front, or even go up there if you want to. Jumping on a foundation will instantly make a wolf or a bear run away from you. So this is a good reverse card on them. One of the most efficient ways to expose a door camper is just placing a campfire right beside the door. When the comfort stops at 50%, it means that there's literally no one right beside your door besides yourself. When it goes over 50, it means that there is someone outside your door, so be wary of those grubs. Another good way of getting away from animals or even killing them is just walking right into water. As you can see, the animals are really slow in the water. So right now, the animals in Rust do not go aggro on you, at least if you're near them. And when you're around roughly 2 to 3 foundations apart from each other, the animal will either start running away or start getting aggro on you. Chairs are so underrated in this game. You can literally use this for 100% comfort and regenerate your health to 100%. And you can use this to also go AFK to preserve and not drain your hunger and thirst. When starting off on the beach, quickly open your map and look for these weird squiggly lines. These are the rivers in Rust. It spawns in pumpkins and corn on the side of them. This will help you gain a lot of health and also food and water when starting off. There's a cool as hobo barrel in Outpost. You can actually heal to 100 HP if you actually stand next to it. If you have enough food and water, that is. If you want to get 100 comfort at home, just place a campfire and place a bear rug above you or at least next to you. Try and stand right below the head of the bear rug and this will give you 100 HP if you have enough food and water as well. If you remember earlier in this video about the rivers in Rust, you can actually go upstream where the water flows down. You can actually drink from it and gain a bit of health at least. It'll take around 3 arrows to blow up a landmine and you'll need at least 10 explosion stats to actually survive one as well. Or you can get a friend to pick it up under your feet. If not, then yeah, 10 explosion stats is your best friend. There's a way to get on top of the airfield base. Just go up the tower next to it, jump on the railings, fully send it down there, and you should be alright. You have a fair bit of HP. Yeah, you can just chill up there, camp, If your horse has no stamina, just drop a couple of food on the ground. Should be able to eat it, and the bar should go up. If you keep getting jumped on the road, literally save up for 125 scraps, go to your local fishing village, buy a small little boat. This will give you enough fuel to find even more fuel. There's an easy way to farm loot barrels without getting jumped. Easily hear and see boats coming towards you if they spot you, and there won't be any campers, at least if there's someone chilling under the water for some reason. Crouch jumping in Rust is very vital to playing this game, as this will get you to certain areas and into tight situations depending on the player's base design and stuff, or getting up to a higher ground in certain monuments. To do this, you would need to move in one direction and press your running, your crouch and your jump button all at the same time, but you gotta time it well. It's just like the hug in the wall tip. So yeah, you'll just get the hang of it once you kind of get what I mean. You can't spam bags next to each other anymore, so you need to separate the bags at least 20 foundations away from each other. This is at least nearly a half a grid on a map. Press N on your keyboard to appreciate your rock. Here's 2 online websites you can use for Rust. The first one's called Rust.io. You can check on the servers how much players there is and also how much sleep is on the server. Another cool thing about this server is if you click on mortality, this will show you the mortality rate of the areas. At the bottom, harbor and abandoned supermarket is where most people are dying, so that's where probably all the action is happening. But yeah, I only use this feature to find where all the PvP is occurring at. Rust Labs, this is basically your dictionary for Rust. For example, let's search up, I don't know, a bear. Right here, it shows us what's the best tools for it and what gives you the most and how long it takes to harvest it. Oh, rock is better than a pickaxe. I didn't know that. It also shows you tips. All these guys giving you some helpful tips. But yeah, these websites are very handy and convenient. If you guys are having stuttering or any frame drop, low FPS, get yourself at least 16 gigabytes of RAM. Right now, I'm currently running 32 gigs. And if we just look at Rust, it literally only takes 8.8 gigs of RAM. When I'm in intense situations, it would go as high as 10 sometimes. Alright, setting your object quality to 0. You can see through wooden doors and see, you know, what's happening. Like, oh, what's happening here? Oh, nothing. You can harvest these signposts on the side of the roads, and also you can find some in outposts, so you're pretty much safe if you only hit it with a rock. You can actually find a lot of sulfur in the swamp and little ores you can pick up, and you can also build here as well if you want to. Hold your middle button and drag it down to another space. This will half whatever you're splitting. Press shift and your mouse middle click button down, and this will split a stack into 1/3, and this is really useful to split into your furnaces efficiently. Use another stash to find hidden stashes that's already been buried underground. All you want to do is just hover over anything that's turning red. That means that there's already a stash actually under it. Use one bow arrow and spam your nail gun at a stag to kill it pretty quick. When you're roaming around farming, always have enough cloth to actually make a stash and quickly hide this if you hear gunshots and want a PvP. This is a good safety measure to back up when you lose a fight. Use a stone pickaxe and harvest a dead body for skull. Crush it into bones, and you should at least have 30 bones to make a bone knife. A bone knife is very useful in early game, probably one of the best gathering tools for anything, and it's also super efficient to use for farming barrels as well. Harvest bears and wolves for easy leather armor in early stage. This can literally make your full set of clothing for yourself with decent amount of protection. If you need low grade from animals, kill bears and bulls. These 2 animals will give you the most low grade out of all the animals in Rust. If you don't have the tools and you're too scared to fight animals, you can focus on refining crude oil to get low grade instead. You can find low grade barrels under dome, on roads, or on the ocean, around caves, just outside and also inside. To refine crude oil, all you need to do is just find a refinery, which can be crafted, but you can also use the refineries around the map. They're pretty much in every monument, you just gotta find them. If you're desperate for cloth in the desert, you can use a stone or metal hatchet on a cactus. This will give you a bit of cloth. If you want nodes, the snow biome is probably the best place to farm for it. Miss the first sparkling hit. This will actually speed up the process by 1 less hit on the node. When using the jackhammer, instead of holding it down, just tap it. This will actually increase the durability of it, and it speeds up the process of farming it as well. Place bags where you usually loot up, such as near monuments or where you find the most ores around. Just spawn on your bag whenever you want to suss out the area. Place a stash as well with the farming materials, so I just farm whatever is nearby and just run back home. Hold H over items in your inventory to transfer real quick and equip weapons or armor really fast as well. Having at least 10 or 12 radiation will get you to most monuments. Try and stay below 33 cold protection to protect yourself from the heat in the desert. Don't wear more than 1 body protection, as this will just automatically make your body even more hotter. You'll need at least 34 cold protection to not freeze to death. You can still chill around 32 to 33. Outpost has everything you need. Repair bench, a research table, and there's also a workbench here as well. You can also trade in resources you have for the ones that you're lacking, such as wood for stone, metal frags if you don't have a furnace or a metal door up yet. An early stage, if you can't find any cloth, the best way I found is actually gathering at least 40 scrap. Just buy 1 tactical glove off outpost, run to the recycler next to it. It should give you 5 sewing kit and at least 10 foot of rope. Just recycle both of them and you should get at least 200 cloth, which is actually a fair bit. Craft you at least 4 bows for the boys. Never just have one monument to always go to for PvP and farming. Always have multiple options. If water treatment is filled with PvP, everyone's dying there, just go to the ones next to it or closest to it. If you love farming and you want to transfer your loot to another place, you can just hard stack them like stone or wood to high external walls. Just spam it and yeah, just cancel it every time it reaches to 2 seconds, you know. While looking down while crouching will actually give you better head protection than actually looking forward and crouching. Chucking your Eoka in a bush or somewhere on the ground makes someone come really close to you by saying, you know, like, yo, look at me, I'm naked, I have literally nothing on the side of my hip. While you're having a little chat with him, just fucking grab it from the bush or whatever and just pop him in the head. You can jump shoot with bows. Just right after you draw the bow, you want to jump and then you can fire. Also, mastering a bow is the best way to master Rust, to be honest. If you can master that, you're basically a god. You can use combat log as an advantage. For example, if you killed someone really far away but you don't know if you killed him yet, or you want to know how much HP he's on, press F1, type in combat log and it should pop up. You can do this with also shotgun traps to see how much HP is left on it. Use tactical gloves and laser sight to reduce sway on any weapon. You can place twig floors and ladders to get up bases that you're not privileged on, so yeah. You can get over any external walls with lots of bandages. When jumping into a compound, do not jump into 2 external walls connecting to each other. This will actually make you die 2 times faster. Personally, I found the safest way to kill those items quick is just using high velocity arrows from afar. Using a bandana and a wolf head dress is as good as a coffee can helmet, and wolf head dress is better for explosion either way. You can shoot, jump and crouch while reviving your friend. They've removed spam syringing down players. Now it takes a while for it to actually finish the animation, and when it finishes the animation it instantly gets them up. Fast sneaking is probably the easiest way to get around and creeping on people. Just hold shift and control at the same time while constantly tapping control. It's a bit weird but you'll get the hang of it, just like the other tips, you know. Hopefully you guys actually know what I mean. I'm bad at explaining stuff, so you know, bear with me. Learn how to control recoil. Go onto your service list, type in train, aim, combat, one of those words between the lines, you know, and service will pop up for practicing your gun recoil. And yeah, hopefully these servers help you becoming a better aimer. When roaming around, always look around. You will never know if there's a camper hiding in a bush or in a corner, you know. Always have an outside bag just in case if there's campers and you're getting raided. This will be easier for you to flank them unexpected, or at least hopefully get 1 kill. What I like doing is actually stashing a gun, couple medical syringes, couple bullets, you know. This should be enough to make a play. Crouching while shooting helps you with your aim, and standing up will do the opposite. Place a furnace in front of your door to prevent people from going deep into your base. A better alternative to the furnace is actually a small generator. This is way more indestructible than a furnace. For a small generator, you'll need at least a couple of explosive ammos to actually break it. When you die, keep pressing escape to see what's happening on your dead body. This could actually help giving information to your teammates on what's happening. Camp monuments if you have a small PP and full fat loot. If you want to hide your body with fat loot in the ocean, all you want to do is just get some scuba gear, get all your best equipment or whatever, go really deep into the water, and then as soon as you disconnect, just take out your oxygen tank, and yeah, your body will just be chilling there. As soon as you log back in, put on the oxygen tank as quickly as you can, as you'll start taking damage. Don't neglect your frames for graphics, guys. You don't want to be dropping 20 frames while having a 1v1 with a Chad, you know? So I found out when you craft multiple rocks from the beginning, you actually have a bigger advantage than the other nakeds running around. And it's pretty fun just running around with like 50 rocks in your inventory. You can build in caves, which can be found on the map from these little circle divots. Once you get to a point where you can find these wood logs things coming out of the ground, that's where you can actually build inside the cave. Always lock your TC and your boxes if you can. The raiders will need to actually break the box, so this could slow them down and not help them gather the resources they could potentially get from your boxes to use against you. Also, if you're playing solo, you only use key locks instead of code locks. This will save you a lot of metal frags instead of using code locks, which is pointless because you're playing solo. If you want to place barricades half hanging off your roof, all you have to do is just place a twig floor next to where you want to place it, and this will let you actually build a barricade onto the wooden floor as well. If you go more than halfway, and when you break the twig, it will actually break the barricade as well, so make sure it's around below halfway, you know. You can try and hide your TC with some cool base designs like this one. Like, you can't even see it. It's so good. First thing about building a base is always have an airlock. This is a good safety measure to prevent yourself from people going deep into your base. All you want to do is place the first door facing towards you, second door right behind it facing away from you, and this will create an airlock where no one can actually run inside your base without you closing one of the doors. You can also do this with a ladder hatch door. Just place the ladder hatch in front of one door and no one can actually go deep inside your base. They can probably loot you if you die too close. This can also be said if you have a top roof. If you don't have any protection at all, no airlocks, this is a big mistake most people do. As you see in the video, I'm actually going deep. These guys decided to leave all their doors open thinking they're safe from above, you know, but you can always just use windows to see if anyone's camping on top, you know, or just have the same airlock system as the front door. Make sure your walls are not inside out. Make sure your walls are facing the correct way. As you can see, if you hit a soft wall, it's actually so easy to raid people with just tools. If you try the same tools with a hard wall, it's really hard and it takes like hours to even break it. So yeah, just make sure your walls are facing the correct way. You can also soft side ceilings, so upgrade it to metal at least. This is a better protection than stone or even wood. You cannot build close to roads or monuments anymore. As you can see right here, this is probably the closest you will ever get to a road. This also includes any deployable, such as a high external wall, a concrete barricade, repair bench, you know, all that stuff. Place a small box just under a barbecue. You can use both of them as extra storage. This can be useful for any base design you're looking at. Honeycomb your base for better protection, and of course always honeycomb your roof as well. You can do this by putting a half wall, then a ceiling, the most common use of honeycombing. Just place some walls on a triangular foundation and just upgrade it to whatever is the best resources you have now. This is the most efficient room for furnaces. Just place all the furnaces in one triangular foundation. You can also use this setup as a way to get up to the second floor as well, as you can see right here. You can also use the last tip to implement this into your foundations. If you put one of your triangle floors lower than the rest, then you can actually do this base design just like this, and yeah, it's pretty efficient. Here's how to make a shelf. Just place your tool cupboard as usual, place your two boxes here, come to the side, put a foundation half full, then a ceiling, and then come to the other side and place another ceiling on here. Then you can just demolish all of this and upgrade this to stone. Now you can place another 2 to 3 more boxes on top. You can place a small wooden box under a level 2 or 3 workbench. When you place a TC down, you cannot pick it up. You would have to destroy it. The easiest way to destroy it using any fire ammunition, such as fire arrows. It takes like around 8 or 9 fire arrows to fully destroy it. Or you can use a double barrel or pump with handmade shells. This is probably the cheapest way. Traps are very underrated. I usually like to place landmines where I think door campers will usually sit. If you have decent enough graphics, you can't actually see it, at least if you're actually paying attention to the ground, which I highly doubt that. Instead of chucking them away, just chuck them in the places where you think campers will be there and just don't tread on them. But yeah, this can be said with shotgun traps and also flame turrets. Make sure your upkeep is manageable and not ridiculously hard for you. For example, look at this base right here. If you're solo and you can only have around 3 hours of gameplay, realistically 95% of your time is actually farming for the nodes, and there's no time to actually PvP, do other stuff. Make sure your base is reasonably balanced with your style of gameplay. So yeah, you can actually close garage doors from above. As you can see, once it's open, you can actually close it, but you can't open it while it's closed. What I like to do is actually have a bag above the door, and when I get door camp, I can instantly just log into the bag and just close the door, and hopefully I trap them inside. If you're implementing a triangle foundation to your base design, you can use this as another storage. All you gotta do is just place a door frame, place a vending machine, and make sure you disable the location, and this acts as another large storage box. And it's easy to go through it without any clutter, at least if you have more than 2 people, of course. When implementing shotgun traps to your base, there's multiple ways of stealthily implementing them. You can place them right on the ceiling. If someone's coming from the roof, as you can see in the video, they'll get popped. Or you can place them right next to your boxes where your loot room is, or when they blow up the door they'll just get blown away. Make sure your foundations are on the right level and not too high, as if someone soft sides the foundation or even blow up a foundation, they can just walk in like this. Alright, so for the last tip, to get better at building, you can go to private server, or an easier way to not set up a server is just go into your modded section, search up sandbox, building, build, intoxicated, one of those words between the lines, you know, and you'll find a server mainly just for building stuff. Next week you'll see me in your subscription because you've subscribed. So yeah, bye.